Dawn of the Dead Network.
Hello and welcome to Pod of the Dead, the internet horror film club that nobody asked for. I am your host Nicholas, and on today's episode, I am joined by two people this week. I've got Tyler Axline.
What's up?
And I've got Dustin Breidenball.
Yo.
On today's episode, we are covering the 2012 remake of the film Maniac. The film follows Frank Zito, who is played by Elijah Wood, a shy and mentally disturbed mannequin restorer living in Los Angeles. By night, Frank stalks, murders, and scalps women, which he uses to decorate his mannequins in an attempt to recreate a sense of connection and control. When Frank meets a kind and charismatic photographer named Anna, played by Nora Arnezdir, I'm guessing is how you pronounce that. He begins to struggle with his violent urges, but as their relationship develops, his fragile mental state deteriorates and his homicidal impulses intensify. So, coming into this week, what is your guys' history with this film, if any?
Yeah, so I never heard of this movie until you brought it up. I actually watched it this morning, that way it's fresh in my head, and yeah, wow.
Oh, you've heard the story 1,000 times, though, right? I mean, it's such a cliche. Man scalps woman to put on his, mannequins.
Oh yeah, I think
it's old hat at this point, but
absolutely, I think that's how my parents met.
And while he's killing the ladies, he says some really weird shit about his mom.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, man has mommy issues. Takes it out on women. Yeah, tale as old as time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is a remake, obviously, of the original Maniac that came out in the early 80s, which this movie takes the idea of, right? Like it's, Frank Zito killing women and has like a fucking mental breakdown in the process, is just completely unhinged and everything. The difference is this one's like shot in all POV damn near, where the original one's like this really grimy New York sleaze film. And then this one's like real polished in a weird way. But with that polish, it does not pull back when it wants to be extremely violent, which I found to be, the first time I saw it, like kind of shocking because Elijah Wood is in it. And I thought this was like one of the weirdest like possibilities for a Lord of the Rings prequel or something. But like the fact that it turns out one of the writers of this film was Alexander Aja, who is the guy that's responsible for High Tension and The Hills Have Eyes remake and the like. So knowing that his pedigree was behind it, he was also one of the executive producers on this. I was like, that makes sense. That's why we went this hard in it. Granted, you couldn't soften the blows and still call it Maniac. Like, Maniac needs to be fucking like gnarly.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so
that though, because you do have those little bits, especially like in the kill scenes, that are reminiscent of High Tension. So it's really interesting you mentioned that.
Yeah, the director of it is a man by the name of, and I'm going to butcher this name too. It's Franck, I think it's Khalfoun, and he's done stuff such as he was an actor in High Tension. He also directed, what was it? He directed the Maniac remake, Amityville: The Awakening, P2, which was another Alexander Aja film. So it seems like it's one of his working partners and stuff like that. So yeah, it's interesting. It also says that he edited this film as well. So he not only directed it, he did also edit it, which is, I always find that interesting when someone does double duty on that, because people like, let's say, Martin Scorsese, awesome director, but he has an editor that reels his shit in. Like, otherwise it's just too much. Same with like Tarantino and the like. But Yeah, when someone's like, I directed it and I edited it, it's like, I don't know how you're able to rein yourself in.
What did you guys think of the soundtrack on this?
I really liked that. How about you, Dustin?
Oh, I loved it, man. It was like perfect lurking music.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so good to lurk out of a van too. Just that, just that creepy synth that was going on when he was driving around. It was they nailed it.
It's
and
straight,
then
it has that 80s vibe to it, like where
yeah,
the
it absolutely
like, brrr kind of vibe.
yeah, and nothing's creepier than that song "Goodbye Horses" by Lazarus Q.
Yep.
And oh my lord, that just like made the scene so much worse.
Yeah, when he ends up going home with our fair maiden, and then yeah, I just want to turn something on, and yeah, you just hear it start.
You're just like, oh, this is going nowhere good. Oh, and it doesn't.
It goes so ungood.
Yeah,
my wife walked in the room as that scene was in its pinnacle. Like she's like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "It's for homework."
So the first time I watched this movie, I was watching that scene, and I had one of those aha moments because I was just like, "Well, going down on a guy, that's like the nicest thing you can do. What the hell kind of reaction is that? You'd have to be some kind of
some kind of maniac.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's actually what the namesake is about. It has nothing to do with everything else that happens in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
everything else kind of fell in place after that.
Yeah, absolutely. The soundtrack though, like you were talking, it has like, it's really, what's the way to put it? Like it's an 80s synth score, but it's very foreboding, but it also isn't like in the front a lot either. It just kind of settles under everything, and you'll kind of forget that it's there, but that's what's causing a lot of the tension sometimes of just Elijah Wood every once in a while catching his face in a mirror or something, but just like this like low like brrr kind of vibe going on, and you're just like, why am I uncomfortable looking at Frodo? I don't get it.
Now,
which it still confuses me on how they do that. If it's a first person shot, how can they do that without seeing the camera?
I have no fucking clue. I was like trying to look that kind of stuff up. I don't know if that's done in post, and like Elijah Wood's actually never in the film and he's just doing ADR the whole time or what.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they did a lot of really cool shots with that.
Have you ever seen Enter the Void?
I have not. I know what it is. I have not seen it.
I saw those both around the same time, and they're both shot in that first person, but vastly different movies. Both equally wild, though, I would say.
Yeah, that's the one with like the dude that's like overdosing in the bathroom. Is that Enter the Void?
So not to spoil anything, but he does die.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, and then the rest of the movie is after he dies.
Yeah, it's like the death spiral thing.
Yeah, but it's
I'm aware of it. Okay.
Yeah, the whole thing shot in Japan is just like gorgeous. Like his soul just kind of flies around for a while, and you just see all of Japan from this drone footage. Oh, it's beautiful.
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Not one woman scalped either.
Nope, never mind. Off the list. Off the list. Were you getting ready to say something, Tyler?
Oh no. Oh, actually, so you mentioning the mirror shots though, do you think every time that he catches a glimpse of himself that he's self-aware of what he's doing? Because you do get little bits of him feeling like he's trapped in his body almost.
Yeah.
Pick up on that?
They kind of play on that a little bit, especially like at the end where he's like not human. It's like a weird thing where it's like not human mannequin kind of stuff, right? So it's that whole, I don't think it's supposed to be like he feels like a mannequin, but he doesn't feel human and stuff like that. And I think that like seeing those glimpses of himself is like crushing him down to reality. Also, any time that he like feels any sort of affection, that does it too. And those are the things that will spike him. So like when he's, sitting like sitting feeding the ducks, with his girlfriend and everything, and she's like being nice to him and stuff, he gets like the migraines and stuff like that, because anytime that happens, it triggers his trauma from his mom, who either is just very free going and everything, or she's a prostitute. I'm not sure.
Both. She just likes to get down,
Yeah, she just likes to party in the streets in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it had been a long time since I'd seen this. Like I said, I think I watched it not too long after it first came out, and I was like, sure, Elijah Wood Maniac remake, this is going to be horrible. And it actually wasn't. It was really fucking rad. And I remember it being violent. I did not remember any of the mom stuff. So all that keeps happening through the film. Just oh yeah. Child trauma. Forgot. Got it.
Yeah, really bad trauma.
Well, just rub some dirt on it. You'll be all right. So let's see what the internet has to say about this film. I found a nice 1 out of 10 on IMDb for this film from Adam Wu. He rated this a 1 out of 10 back in 2014. I have not read this yet, so I'm going to try and make sure that he's not going way off the rails on this. But came across this film after searching for some horror thrillers to watch on IMDb, and after reading some reviews on here, I thought I'd give it a try. Well, that's a mistake. I did not know it was a remake, so had nothing to compare it to. As with most horrors, I started to watch with an open mind, not really expecting too much, but really didn't enjoy this at all. A lot of the film is shot from the main character's eyes, and I found this really off-putting. I found the story to be completely ridiculous and had trouble finding anything enjoyable about it in the first 30 minutes. It's pretty gory, but much of the same type of things all the way through. So once you have seen one sequence of gore, it's pretty much all the same. After about 50 minutes, I had lost all interest and found myself laughing at the stupidness of it and turned it off. Really didn't like this film, and it's 50 minutes of my life I'll never get back. I'm too picky when it comes to films, but I found everything about this really poor. Avoid. This has 22 thumbs downs on it against its 19 helpfuls.
Wow, kind of even.
Yeah,
This sounds like you don't have enough trauma to relate to this movie. Yes.
Well,
someone clearly didn't see their mom getting railed by two guys. Snob.
But yeah, I can only imagine. I went after this note. I had seen Maniac, and all this stuff. I can't imagine just being like, oh, it's it's Elijah Wood, from The Faculty, from this is gonna be all right. And then you just watch him literally drown women, fucking pull their goddamn scalps clean, no pulling away at all, just not POV strangulation in the first 20 minutes. Just I think it's brilliant in a bad way that they're just yeah, it's Elijah Wood, look at his big beautiful eyes, and then to just subject people to this is I think well done.
Yeah. And I don't know about you guys, but it really looked like Elijah was enjoying himself.
100%.
Yeah.
I think he fully financed this film. Actually, I think this is
Oh yeah,
actually a
that was his
documentary.
company, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think this was actually a documentary, and then they had to hide all the evidence. They're like, no, these are all practical effects. And they're like, where are the other actresses? They're like, oh, they're on holiday.
They all just dropped out of Hollywood. They couldn't hack it.
They couldn't hack it with the Frodo boys. But so this coming out in 2012, right? To kind of give you a look at what was coming out at this time to compare this to, The Woman in Black was the highest grossing horror film in 2012. I believe that's got Harry Potter, fucking what's his nuts in it. Oh,
I don't know anything about this movie.
It's like a period piece horror film, if I remember correctly. We're also in the time though that Paranormal Activity 4 came out, so we're deep in that. Sinister came out this year, Cabin in the Woods. But, oh, good Lord. Silent Hill Revelations 3D, the Silent Hill sequel, one of the worst films I've ever seen. And
Yeah.
the first VHS film came out this year. So that's kind of where we're at. We're like getting right out of, what people would refer to as the torture porn era. So, your Saw and House of Thousand Corpses and Hostel, that was like your early 2000s. Now, like in the early teens and stuff like that, it's just all over the place. It's a lot of IP grabs and just sequels on sequels on sequels. So this kind of stands out in a way, even though it is a remake. It's not a remake of a film that, is going to be run on TV. So it's interesting that it even got remade. So it kind of comes off like a passion project in a way. But so you're talking about the music and scores. That was composed by Robin Codert, Coudert. He was heavily influenced by 80s horror aesthetic, and it serves as a counterpart to the film's brutality and enhances the surreal, nightmarish atmospheres. And like that's something that this film with a different score, I think wouldn't work. Like if it was more needle drops, like you get the one needle drop with.
What are you thinking? Like Enya?
yeah. I think that would work. I think that would do it. Or maybe just Skrillex.
Oh, okay.
Just a lot of that stuff.
They'd have to add more strobing effects, but yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, why not, right? But it's really crazy because like the original one, like I said, was like real sleazy and everything. This one being POV, but like also Elijah Wood's like performance is like a much more fragile person. And I don't know, have either of you guys ever seen the original Maniac?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Frank is just fucking visibly deranged. Like he just it's like
and gross.
It's just fucked up like from the start. So it's interesting that like and that's where like Elijah Wood's like, no, I'm going to finance this and I'm going to play him, because I could see them, casting somebody else and whatnot, but I don't think it would work. Now, nowadays, if like a big budget place was like, we're going to make our remake, it would be like fucking Chris Pratt or Jack Black, because those are the only people that get cast for anything anymore.
Did you think the person in the original looked a little bit like Ron Jeremy?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
So totally added to the sleaze of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Skinny Ron Jeremy. Skinny in comparison.
AIDS Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
I shouldn't joke about that. Sorry.
I've said far worse. But no, fucking. Now you've got me completely AIDS Ron Jeremy. Well, I mean, it was New York in the 80s. So.
Yep. It all tracks. There is one scene that I wish they would have redone from the original. Nick, do you remember when two people are making out in the car and AIDS Ron Jeremy hops up on a hood and shoots the guy in the face with a shotgun?
Yes. Yeah, it's got that Son of Sam.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's fucking shocking.
Fantastic. Like, it's hilarious. It's like gory and gross. His head just completely explodes. It's amazing.
Now, Tyler, you're going to have to go and do your homework and watch the original to actually get the context of AIDS Ron Jeremy.
The furthest extent of homework that I did on the original was looking up pictures.
Okay.
Our OG Frank, and that's definitely AIDS Ron Jeremy. But actually, Lucy also kind of mentions it during the date too.
What'd she mention?
She says that she's happy that Frank isn't fat with long black hair and skin full of acne.
Oh, nice.
I didn't even put those together. I remember her saying that now that you say that, but she's literally just talking about the original version. Oh, that's fucking dope. Yeah, the
Like,
Lucy, the
call
girl
back.
with the red hair at the beginning, right? Is
Yeah.
that when they're at dinner? Yep.
I did catch one more reference to the first one. After the kill in the parking lot, they show a like a mirror image in the side of a car,
Hmm.
and it's just Elijah Wood from the neck down, and he's holding the scalp and the
Yeah,
knife, and
it's
that's just the cover
yeah, it's
from
just
the
the cover of
original.
the original one. Oh yeah, that's just like
Yeah,
straight up like just showing.
yeah, yeah. That was lovely.
Oh, delightful. So, yeah, this movie got brought up the list. So this is that had been on my list to cover on the podcast for a while. And then when I reached out to all you guys and everything, it was like, give me a list of what like your top tens are and stuff. Dustin, you put this on the list. So that's why it got pushed up, because I was just like looking to see like what's on my list. What are people saying? Okay, cool. We'll throw that one up there. And outside of watching this in my living room while the family's walking through, it was an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
Where's my nipples, Frank?
Yeah. Dad, what's going on? Shut up, go to your room. Dad's doing research.
He got a blowjob and he's upset about it. That's what's happening.
I'd just be really analytical. Well, actually, son, what's going on is he has picked up a transient streetwalker.
Can anyone explain how what he's doing is going to heal his trauma at all?
I left my diplomas and my scholarships and all those things over there. I can't explain that.
I have a pretty open mind, but I don't see how putting scalps on your mannequins is gonna help you get over the fact that your mom got railed a bunch when you were younger.
Well, okay, so let's try and put this together. So Frank, as a young boy, saw his mom doing it like it's never been done before every time we see her. By seeing this, it's kind of like the Freudian thing, you know, like every boy wants to be with their mother and wants to kill their father kind of stuff, or that might be young. I don't know. I'm not a psych major. Anyway, so that's what we're supposed to go with. And then he's scalping women, putting them on mannequins, making the mannequins go down on each other at some point.
And spraying them for flies.
Yep, getting mad at them for doing that, having lipstick on his mouth, which clearly must be blood or lipstick that he put on them. So he's making out with the mannequins. He's got his own plastic harem, but it's to prove his mom wrong, right? Something?
Guess is as good as mine, man. I was just along for the ride. I enjoyed it, but I did not understand it.
It is a confusing ride, but I know that it ended because there were credits.
Buddy just found his own way to cope with his trauma, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Like, there's no fucking... It's one of those things that's like, to explain this to someone, you're kind of right, Dustin, where you were saying like it's a tale as old as time. Man murders what, like, it is just cut and dry. Like, it is just like, dude, it's in the title. It's just called Maniac. Like, so outside of that, it's just the visual spectacle, the practical effects of the film and everything. Actually, I want to bring that up real quick. I had it. So this movie, the budget is not posted, but it did make $2.6 million on its budget. So we have no idea what it was made for, but it could not have been made for much more than what it brought in. I can't imagine. Like, there's not a lot of cast. There's not a lot. It's basically just special effects. Like, that's about it. If you really think about it, a lot of dark rooms, a lot of probably just Elijah Wood's apartment in New York City, like just fucking shit like that. So, it's actually surprising to me, anyhow, that it was distributed by IFC here in the United States, but in France it was distributed by Warner Brothers. So this would have gotten a decent like spread in France, but that probably has something to do with Alexandre Aja being tied to it. He's from France. He's part of that whole French extreme thing. So that's probably what got the draw there, because this definitely is a film that if you hadn't seen it, but you're familiar with the new French extreme movement of films like Martyrs and High Tension and Inside and Frontiers, I would throw this in there as well, because it's like, this is just going to, it's hypersexual, hyper violent. Go. Which weirdly, maybe it says a lot about me. Weirdly, that's my bag. It's like, it's either that or tentacle monsters, but those streams don't cross. Those streams don't cross. No hyper violent or hypersexual tentacle monsters on this podcast.
Can they be violent?
They can be violent.
Okay. But you draw the line at sexual. All right.
No sexy tentacles. Maybe.
Okay, so
maybe.
Cthulhu porn is out.
No, that's not on the podcast anyway. Not on the podcast.
Okay.
We'll
There's
get
a
all
separate podcast for that.
Yeah.
Off air. We'll watch it off air.
We'll get all of our funding pulled. We're government funded. But so 90 minutes in and out, right? There's like no filler. Do you think that there was any time in this film that you were kind of like bored or anything, or does it just, for me, it just kind of clips by and then it's over?
I think
I was entertained.
Oh yeah, everything was done pretty effectively. I don't think that they really wasted too much time. I think I would like to see a little bit more of like the mom trauma, maybe just get into it just a little bit more, not so much the sexy time part.
Oh, okay.
Again, that's for the other podcast though, but I want to know, aside from just being exposed to that, how that led him to be a serial scalper,
Yeah. And I think the scalping kind of comes from the fact of, isn't there a scene in this where he's like watching her brush her hair, or am I mixing something up in here? I know he's watching the girl through the closet or whatever, and she's doing that, but there's got to be something with his mom's hair, obviously, that's drawing that line or whatever. But this movie also kind of plays as a parallel to Psycho in a way, where it's this acting out, like this repressed person acting out against all these other people in service to their mother and everything. So
could it be as simple as the mannequins don't have hair?
God damn it, Dustin, I think you're I think we're overthinking it.
It could be.
Oh shit. Oh god damn it.
Okay, so I had a big question. To go back to the kill in the parking lot.
Yes.
Slices the girl's Achilles, totally gnarly, and then really brutal stabbing scene.
Mm-hmm.
He makes a noise.
Oh, he comes
after. Okay, you're there with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. After the scalp, there's a definite noise of satisfaction.
Huge bust. Huge.
Okay,
yeah.
So we're all on the same page. Great.
Oh, yeah, because the same thing kind of happens. You can see it like kind of in his face when the like the art collector or whatever she is, the older lady that he drowns in the tub, but she's not drowned, and then he ties her up on the bed. When he's like pulling her scalp off, you can see that like elation in his face and stuff like that. And yeah, that's him getting his rocks. Like,
okay. You know what? I don't think I caught that the first couple times I watched this.
but damn it, I catch it now.
Oh, I got it this time.
I had to rewind like 4 times for posterity.
Yeah, that scene with the older lady probably could have done without the shallow cuts he was doing on the back. Something about that really got me.
It's too real at that point because it's not so over the top. You can think of like cutting yourself with a knife, like you're cutting something and you accidentally nick yourself. That's how that feels. Those shallow cuts. You're just like, oh, I don't know what it feels like to be punctured with a knife, No. But I love the reveal though of him in the bathroom. Like he's in there and just like watching her, and it's so fucking tense. He touches the soap, and when he brings his hand up, just that little droplet of water, because it is quiet in there. She's like, what the fuck's that? Looks, sees him, just dunks her fucking ass in the tub, and it's just like, that would be horrifying. Like that might be the
Yeah.
most horrifying scene in the movie, apart from someone getting their fucking hair ripped off. But like just that, like everything's quiet and he's just there, like moves the wine glass to her. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Tension from the wine glass alone, like just I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, when is she going to notice?
Yeah, it's so fucked. Because that's where I like. I'm never like, what's the word? I'm never like, that's the coolest kill ever or anything like that. That doesn't really do it for me. It's the build to it. That
Mhm.
tension that like I think they did is like expertly done for most of them. Like just that like creepiness of him stalking someone. I think the only time it doesn't really work for me, and it's just because it's, well, we're in his point of view, so maybe. But the stalking through the train station is really strange because there's no one fucking there.
Not a single person.
Like in
No,
the parking
and she
lot
just,
too, like how's nobody hearing her scream? Like I'd be looking out my window, especially from those apartments. I'd be looking out my window like maybe I'd do something, maybe, but I'm at least like checking it out though, you know?
and she's just literally running circles in the subway, then starts running circles in the fucking junkyard stuff. Like there's something wrong
Yeah.
with this lady's fucking like programming.
Did they ever say what city they were even in?
I mean, the original one's in New York City, so I'm assuming that this is supposed to be that.
Yeah, yeah. Not realistic. Ruins it for me.
But this is the thing though that I, what's the way to put it? Like I'll give it a pass or whatever, is because we're watching it from his reality. So like there's no one, there's nothing. There could be other people fucking scream because he's not fucking covering
That
up.
That would be an awesome reveal if they revealed that there's tons of people around. Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, like I mean, because he like there's that scene where he throws up in the toilet, right? And he cleans off the seat, but there's still puke on the floor. Like he's not like clean by any means. Like,
Oh yeah, I actually made a note of that. I was like, Buddy is leaving DNA literally everywhere. He is so sloppy.
oh yeah,
Especially inside of his pants. Better keep a hold of those guys.
yeah, but like, if okay, so we have Elijah Wood's Maniac. Would you be interested in them trying to do this again, or is it just kind of good as it is? Like, do you think that the original and this one are different enough that they can stand on their own? Would you like to see a different take on this, or
See, I don't know if it would be interesting enough to do a modern take on it. Like I think the difference between the 80s and the 2012 one is that's sufficient, but I don't really know what else they could do to freshen it up, I guess.
yeah, like that's the kind of thing is like the 80s, like most things when they come out in the 80s and stuff, there's just like a certain like film over it. Like it's very low, like even when it's high budget for horror in the 80s, it's still low budget and compared to other things. And then the way lights are shot, there's always cigarette smoke everywhere. So like there's like a certain haze to all those movies and everything. So there's something about 80s films that you can't duplicate. And then this basically just being an American made version of a French extreme film, there's a vibe to that. I like right now, and it's kind of like the cheap way of saying it would be like if it were to be remade now, it'd be like an A24 or a Neon film. And it's like, I wouldn't want that. Like, I think that they would try to make it more. Well, I mean, I wouldn't, but maybe Tyler, you would in the sense of you're wanting more of the backstory to the mom and that trauma. I could see them leaning really hard into that nowadays since like trauma dumping is like the thing with horror anymore, like Hereditary and the like. So I could see them doing that, but even at that point, I'm not sure if it's necessary for a Maniac movie to do that.
Right. I think the only thing that would make it more interesting in a modern sense would be like him actively like seeking help for his condition and trying to like work against it, but his like the mannequin self, I guess, is actively trying to bring him back to the maniac phase, like the murderous tendencies, the dissociation. And I think having that almost like substance, like internal battle could be
Mhm.
really interesting. But aside from that, though, I
Now,
think the I think the serial killer thing is a little, played out.
now, have either of you ever seen the Ryan Reynolds film The Voices? Have either of you
Mm-mm.
seen that?
Oh,
So it's played as like a comedy to start with, but it's basically Ryan Reynolds is a serial killer. He kills people, puts their heads like in his freezer, and they're like talking to him and everything. And his cat and dog are talking to him and everything. And then it just so turns out that the motherfucker's insane and none of that stuff's actually happening. They're rotting heads. The dog and cat are dead in the house. He's a hoarder. And it's super fucking dark for like the last 15 minutes of this film. The rest of it is like him and Anna Kendrick and shit. Like, ah, da, 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 da. That's kind of like what I would think that this film could possibly be, but just like harder.
yeah. So that sounds like American Psycho, but with talking heads.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
eight heads in a duffel bag meets meets fucking American Psycho. I fucking forgot about that movie.
that doesn't sound bad at all.
But yeah, I'm glad that we covered this though because I don't know any other time. Like the further we get away from this, like this movie's 13 years old. So like if you haven't seen it to this point, hopefully this will get some people to check it out. I mean, as much as we've talked about it and everything, I mean it's a slasher, it's a POV slasher. We can explain what we're seeing, but until you see it, until you hear it, like this is one of those kind of films. Like it's not like The Sixth Sense where you can ruin the plot twist or something like that. I mean, the plot twist in this is Elijah Wood's the bad guy. he
And you
doesn't make
find that out real fast.
it. He doesn't make it to Mountain Doom.
Yeah,
Wait, he is
first
the
three
bad guy?
minutes.
But fucking so yeah, there are a couple other films though. If you like this POV style, there are a couple different horror films that you may want to check out. So if you like that, there's Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. I don't know if either of you have seen that. That's from the 80s. It's about Henry Lee Lucas. And it stars, what's that motherfucker's name? Is it Michael Rooker? I
Guy
can't
from
remember.
Mallrats,
No, I'll look it up
the
real
bald
quick.
guy. Because I remember seeing a poster of it.
Henry Portrait. It stars, yeah, Michael Rooker. Um, Mallrats bald guy. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Or most recent Righteous Gemstones.
No. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. He is the
Yeah, that's
boxing,
him. Okay.
the wrestling guy or promoter
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, yeah. He's also in the Marvel universe movies. He's Yondu, I think. So that's the
Oh,
one that
yep.
I always think of. But yeah, he plays Henry Lee Lucas, who is a real serial killer, and it is a grimy horror film. Came out in like what 86, and I saw that. I've talked about this on the podcast before. I saw that when I was probably 10, but not because like Nick was like, "Oh, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer." I would stay at my grandmother's house and we would go to Hollywood Video and she would just like grab random horror films and we would just watch them. She's like, "I don't know what this one is." And this was one of them. It's just horrific. It's super grimy and it kind of ruined me for a bit. I mean, probably permanently, but I mean, the film was initially X-rated by the MPAA, so it's fucking rough. So, yeah. The another film though is Peeping Tom. I've never seen this one, but they say it is another POV film. It's a '60s British horror film that came out. But yeah, oh yeah, no, I know what this one is. It's very much about voyeurism and stuff. And that's the kind of thing in this movie that's really interesting, is the uncomfortability of watching others.
Oh, for sure. There's definitely a lot of that voyeurism in there, especially from the locker scene. Like you feel, well, obviously, like you shouldn't be there, but it makes you feel really icky.
Yeah, because like you're not like, okay, so Frank is there because he wants to be there. You don't want to be there. You're forced to be there. It's fucking rough. It's a rough one. But yeah, this one I watched it online, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's over there on the wall. I was gonna say I thought I owned this film, but I own too many films. Anyway, well, you guys got anything else you want to talk about for this film?
The only thing.
Only other. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I think this movie, it feels like it definitely directly influenced the house that Jack built. Like I kept thinking of that movie the entire time that I was watching this one. I don't know if that popped up for you guys at all.
I haven't seen it. I know what it is though. I just haven't seen it. I can see the cover of it with can't remember his name, but then there's like the plastic sheeting around him, and I think he's holding an axe.
Yeah, same. I haven't seen that one.
Well, I think that'd be a good one to cover.
All right, I'll throw it on the list.
Only other thing I had is like the acting is so good if you think about it that these people are just looking straight into a camera the whole time.
Yeah.
They're not looking at another human running lines the whole time. It's just a camera right at them.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
And also on top of that, this is one of those films that I don't think would work as well in a theater because of that. With it being POV and the screen being that large, I think it loses that just what's the word I'm looking for? Like where intimacy, that, watching it in a dark room on just a screen right there in front of you. I think I could only imagine watching this like on a laptop in your bed would make it even grimier feeling.
Live leak video or something.
Yeah, no shit. But well, thank you guys for coming on. Hopefully,
thanks for having us.
Hopefully, you'll come around more often and everything. We'll talk all sorts of weird Frodo films and there's proto slashers, and now we have a whole new genre of Frodo slasher. So hopefully he comes out with some more. I know that he's done Cooties, which isn't a slasher, but it's a horror comedy about kids becoming zombies in a school, and that movie's fucking hilarious if you haven't seen that.
No, and I believe he's going to be in the remake of Toxic Avenger.
Yes, and he
soon.
Yeah, that comes out in August, and I cannot wait.
I know, me too. Peter Dinklage as Toxie. Yes, please.
Yeah. There's a podcast that I listen to that the end of every episode is a commercial for it, but it's just audio, and it is just the most batshit insane, like fucking cars exploding, gunfire, and everything. But then it still has like that like weird trauma comedy. And this isn't the new Toxic Avenger isn't made by Trauma, but there's still like the tip of the hat because the town that they say, at least in the trailer, is Saint Romasville instead of Traumaville. It's Saint Romasville. I was like, fuck yeah, yes. I will watch this.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that one.
Oh yeah. So, all right, guys. For Pot of the Dead, I am Nicholas.
Dustin.
Tyler.
Come back and listen to us, or else.